Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being American and YouTuber Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This series chronicles the 1990s cult classic television series, Twin Peaks, created by David Lynch and Mark Frost, which aired in the early 1990s for 2 seasons on ABC. Its 25 years later sequel series, The Return, which appeared on Showtime in 2017, and its prequel film, Fire Walk with Me, and the films of David Lynch. Joining me on this odyssey, the Superfans. Last call, Troy Shelley.
Good evening. It is 73 degrees and raining in the Chicagoland area. It feels like it's in the lower 60s, however.
His better half, Netters Network.
Good evening.
And the president of the Flappy Fan Club, Age Boomer.
Hello, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Indeed. All right. I do want to say hello to a few people who have joined us here in the live chat. First one here, channel member JPRPH1. Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. Kapla to our resident Klingon, Mark Mounikoff. Mm-hmm. This is the blood wine, and this is the barrel. Drink full and descend into Grethor. Bakira awaits your soul. The target's white of the eyes, and the dishonor within. Mark you, the Klingon woodsman.
I don't know if being the Klingon woodsman is a good thing or a bad thing, Mark. So you might want to think about that one a little bit. Jury's still out on what the woodsmen are.
All right. Like to say hello in the Cosme chat to Andrea Black.
Hey, Andrea.
And my co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Enuma Severus. All right.
I love that Aged Boomer dropped the Garmin Bogia, because that is being introduced in tonight's episode.
Yes.
It almost looks like cheesy corn.
Which would probably be better than cream corn.
Anything's better than cream corn.
Mm. Flappy would eat cream corn, but only with Tabasco sauce.
True.
Not for you? Just...
All right. So we will be watching episode 2 of season 2, entitled Coma. Now, the last 2 weeks we covered the first episode of the season, entitled May the Giant Be With You, which is the aftermath of the cliffhanger from season 1, where we got to see who survived and who didn't. And one of the characters whose fate has been hanging in the balance since the very beginning of the show is that of Ronette Pulaski. And at the end of the previous episode, she awakens from her coma. And she has a story to tell.
Indeed.
All right. We also have Audrey Horne still being held prisoner at One-Eye Jack's. We see that Cooper has, of course, survived his shooting. Assailant as of yet unknown.
It was a wood tip.
Yeah, well,
wood tick. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah.
No, nothing.
Oh, you were going to say something, I thought. Okay.
Saying it was a wood tick, and in a way, it definitely, that was the thing that assaulted it. Luckily, it wasn't one of those southern wood ticks that might have made him allergic to beef. Don't know how that happens.
It's the worst wood tick in the world.
Exactly. Hello from England. Wow. Well, it's nice to have an international audience. Love to know if you what your history is with Twin Peaks, and if you are enjoying. Just to explain how it goes here. We are watching episodes of Twin Peaks, but we don't show them on YouTube, obviously, for obvious reasons. But there is a link in the chat pinned to the top or bottom, whatever YouTube feels like, is where things get pinned these days. If you open up another tab and join us in Cosme, you can watch the stream of the episode with us. And we will be discussing throughout. So if you want to be part of that conversation, you kind of also need to watch us here as well.
All right. We also know that Pete and Shelley survived the fire, but Catherine is missing. And we also know that Josie has disappeared as well. And we also know that Leo Johnson has also been shot, which is the reason why I never understood why people thought that Leo shot Cooper. Leo had already been shot. So how can he have been there? There's no way possible. So that alone tells you, okay, maybe.
And what's really bad is that the ones that shot Leo are a really bad shot.
Well,
and what's his name?
Shelley, you can kind of understand. I don't think she'd ever fired a gun before in her life. Hank shot him center mass just fine. The problem is, any good assassin knows, just like you yell at the movie screen in a horror movie, make sure he's dead. Make sure he's not coming back. Double tap if you must.
And then Donna was going to investigate the Meals on Wheels route that Laura took.
Yes. I refresh my memory, guys. Did she get a tip that she should look into the Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, it was on the tape. Laura said something about the Meals on Wheels.
Right. That's what it was. Right.
All right. So, if you would like to join us now over on Cosme, and we will get the show started. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
There's good old Flappy.
This isn't directly related, but there was some time ago, there was a video game that they were working. It was on one of your platformers, Boomer. They had put together a mock-up for a side scroller they were going to do of Twin Peaks.
What?
And it got hit with it actually, the promo of it went up on one of the sites where I get games from, independent games. And they got hit by Paramount with a takedown. So it's kind of disappeared.
Boo.
But the reason that I'm bringing it up now is because they opened it with a digitized version of Flappy. And I'm I honestly believe that Flappy might have done the motion capture for that.
It's possible he did. He's no stranger to gaming, you know. It was Flappy Bird was his idea. He got really screwed on that one. Okay.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
I like what some fans did when they made the PS1 era survival horror Twin Peaks game. I wish that would actually become a thing.
I like what Mark dropped in the Cosme. The Rangers are unlocking the gates. Meals on Wheels will be here soon.
And Hello to Big Al presents.
King ho ho ho. And hello, Big Al. If we didn't say hi earlier, welcome.
Oh yeah, that'll brighten her mood.
Yeah.
Is that a grapefruit with a cherry in the middle?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's very popular at well, in the like 50s and 60s, it was very popular for, in quotes, weight loss.
Huh.
So is this table spread to indicate that Cooper being shot and recovered successfully gave him a big appetite?
Possibly, but it looks like there's 2 meals there, so I think.
Well, it looks like Albert only has a one small plate, whereas everything else seems to be more in front of Cooper.
Maybe.
Some setup.
Yep. That reaction's perfect. Laughing Academy.
Well, partner flew to Coop. Escaped.
Yeah.
And there's a barbershop quartet in the background during all this.
Yeah, and they're actually, contributing to the exegetic music.
He's not eating any flapjacks, is he?
You mean Flappy Jacks?
Enigma Severus says you got to let Albert out. He could suffocate. That's right.
Assassin. Saying the guy behind the paper looks like an assassin. He kind of does, actually. I'm just saying.
Yeah, now that you think about it, right?
Yeah. Oh, dang it.
Oh
the
boy.
former Mrs. Chalfont.
Yep. So
got to
again,
eat
this is where I infer that representatives of the lodge have earthly hosts, so to speak. So Tremont would be connected to Chalfont. Of course, Philip Gerard and Mike are connected.
The young David Lynch.
It actually is. That is David Lynch's son.
Is it really?
It is.
That's why it looks so much like him.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to take what's on the plate. I'm sorry. You don't have to eat it, but you gotta take it. Oh, look! Whoa!
Ow!
It's very interesting that you say that, Enigma, because that is one interpretation of this. Again, assuming that the lodge denizens would be analogous to angels and demons.
I got to tell you though, white rice, no mashed potatoes. What's wrong with this picture here, huh?
What, too much starch?
White rice. I just no. I would have put mashed potatoes and what's a good vegetable? How about some carrots, huh?
That would be fine, yeah, I suppose.
He even has the same hairstyle as David Lynch.
Yes. That was intentional. And for those that don't speak the frog language, he said, I am a lonely soul.
I like that picture.
All life's answers taste like sweet vomit and ass.
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know who said
It's not that
That's
bad. Come on.
Oh.
And I'm not a cream corn guy. Now, do we actually see Harold in this episode or the next? A very nice girl.
I don't remember. I think he just does a peek out so we don't actually see him.
He was in the movie, though.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he is.
What's she putting under there?
A little note asking him if she could talk to him. Now, you have to, from her point of view, she has no idea if he's actually home or not. She may or may not have seen that.
Maybe subconsciously.
I was going to say, you got that someone's watching me feeling, you know? Now, one of two things is happening here with her, possibly both. One, when she fell from the train car, she hit her head and was concussed. The other is extreme stress put her into a fugue state. But the reality is it could really be both. In fact, I'm more inclined to think it's both.
These stools.
Unless you have Jello, get out. That's what I would say if I were her.
That does seem way more complicated than it should
It
be.
needs
I
be,
love the
yeah.
way this goes on for like 2 minutes before they even get to the questioning.
And they don't rush it. They don't rush it.
Oh no.
Blink
Can
once
you
for yes
hear
and twice
me?
for no.
Oh man. You gonna start with Bob?
No.
Okay, just start with Bob.
See, this is why I think concussed. She's having trouble focusing.
It's the guy from Critters 4.
Ah,
Kind of. He looks kind of like him. You're right.
No, I think he was in Critters 4.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The one where they're in space. That was the fourth one, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. If he makes a good point.
is that a thing that you can buy? I've smoked cheese pig.
In Wisconsin, I'm sure you can.
Marshmallows.
Well, I should say Jerry sounds like he's like mentally handicapped.
No, he's probably just
Just
stoned.
High.
Yeah.
Andy,
Oh.
on the other hand,
What?
Well, he does lack coordination. He is a little bit simple.
Dude, if he has that much trouble with tape, don't put him near the Elmer's glue, okay?
Oh gosh, right?
Look at that.
And he's just looking at him like, what is wrong with
what
you?
the hell are you doing?
We could just have a whole hour of this, okay?
Yours are kind of
I'm
special.
surprised it wasn't. Margaret Lanterman, good evening.
Oh my goodness. Stop sticking your gum.
Yeah, I know.
She swallow it.
She might have done, yeah.
I'll tell you where you can stick your gum. How about on that stupid log?
That's pretty mean.
I'm sorry. He's right about that.
He is an incredibly wise man, yes.
And does that mean that they get their coffee for free? Because she poured her coffee without her asking for it. No, she believes that to be the spirit of her dead husband.
They haven't
Mhm.
said that specifically, but yeah, it's strongly implied.
And how did he pass away?
In a fire, in a forest fire.
Deliver the message.
No,
Oh,
she
she's
still
still-
has her gum.
Yeah.
She's like Donald Duck with the hats in that one cartoon. She can just produce it back out again.
Right.
Like,
But I don't think that Norma's request was unreasonable. Don't
No.
spit it out on the counter.
I thought she handled it perfectly. Yes, she did embarrass her in front of anyone who's over listening, but that's the sting you need. She started out very pleasant.
And then Margaret got an attitude.
There's not as much of an attitude as she might have done, though. Like I said, I think Norma handled it very well.
are we getting a Daniel DeLusso moment here with her catching the?
I got to tell you this: the tape in the hair. What a setup for that gag!
And what's with the weird little poofy curl in the front?
Oh no!
Oh, God.
Okay, that took me a second. Okay, yeah, I do understand the OCD being.
For a second there, he looked like a member of Devo with that tape in the hair.
The
I don't know why that made me think.
thing that gets me though is, I mean that's kind of the buck stopped here.
That's funny.
It is kind of like, basically, I know you were cheating on me, so where do you get off having this attitude?
Yep.
Cute, Mark.
He didn't like that.
Well, he's an ex-con. He's got to do. He's got to sign in with his parole officer, which happens to be Harry.
And he also happens to be a dick, so he's got to be, a dick.
I thought that was Tremaine.
Well, he'll be introduced soon enough. He was just alluded to a moment ago.
Do you notice Cooper? No smile, no pleasantries.
Yeah.
He's like,
Then he turned to the dark side.
I guess so.
I'll tell you, there's a lot more story there.
She just sounds so totes adorbs.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Go look for the note for her special agent.
Yeah. Why is Cooper more upset than Ben? That one is way too obvious, Mark. I think everyone got that.
Does that mean that they were drinking?
Yes. Ah, ha, ha.
Hey,
Oh. He sees a picture.
you tell me, Jerry.
See, with lines like that so early on in this, it's like they had this planned out a long time ago. Okay, Enigma. If that's a reference, I'm not getting it.
It's from The Office.
I see. Yeah, I never saw The Office. Just clips I've seen, memes mostly. I would not be surprised if the reference was made for the show because Dwight was a big time conspiracy nerd. Ah, gotcha. I was going to share a vegetable joke, but it's corny.
There's a reason it's called Anonymous Tip, lady.
I mean, she did that as politely as she possibly could.
Yes, and if it was some sort of an emergency and they just didn't want to disclose who they were, she just put somebody in danger. Okay.
Meanwhile,
Back at
Well,
the
she
ranch,
just got her nails done.
She's trying to warn you.
Yep.
he wants to be tied up, have his toenails polished, and hear
This,
vacuuming.
yeah, this is a very specific kind of wow. Although I will say this, that vacuum cleaner, good, solid, sturdy. They don't make them like that anymore.
Is that an Electrolux?
Probably, yeah, or at least that era. Yep. That's pretty sharp at that very moment, because when she's thinking about Laura and her father and Laura always getting her way, she's feeling jealous.
This is not a good idea.
No, but you can also understand in their naivete thinking it might be a good idea. Let's face it, their scheme is not nearly as bad as some of the things that Bobby has done in the past.
Yeah.
Bobby has this get rich quick scheme attitude, and it's like, those don't work.
No, but it is a distinct change from how am I going to get high and laid all the time. He is now starting to think about being a little bit more responsible and, you know, take care of Shelley and, you know, provide. Wow, I never thought of that before, Mark. Leo, law enforcement officer. How ironic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Promise.
Three hours later.
Right. That's also very troubling. I like the fact that they, you know, have him still being a little bit slow because of the pain in his side.
Well, David Lynch was very thorough.
Yeah.
It's like, if a scene, you know, called for, you know, somebody have an injury, like now,
Yeah.
he made sure that the next scene, that person still had that injury. If they had cut their hand was still
which
cut.
is important because it builds trust with the audience, so that when something seems off, it's not just a continuity error. It's intentional.
Really?
You don't say. Enigma says, yeah, I'm still trying to fully fathom the lost highway and all the clues. Yeah.
Yeah, you and me both.
Sounds very ominous.
Wow.
That's what he meant when he said he understood.
Yeah. So in this episode, you have Garmin Boja introduced as a concept, and you get this song.
What's that supposed to mean?
Depends on how you look at it. Maybe they balance each other out.
Forever's a long time.
Yeah. A flappy owl.
Are they recording or just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they really should be, because they're definitely using microphones and an amplifier. It's like a trance. Yeah, I think that's intentional.
I'm getting the impression when Maddie said, "These glasses are ugly. I'm not wearing them anymore." It was just the actor saying, "I'm not wearing these." You know, they're.
I think it was a scripted moment. It was poking at the whole same actress playing a different role trope in movies.
Yes, but it's like, if she doesn't have her glasses, did she suddenly get contact lenses?
She's marking her territory. Actually, I had never thought of that before, John, but yeah, it's a great analogy. Timing is everything.
Who's this Harold? At least it's not Harold Angel.
He also goes by the name Moles.
Yeah.
Or it could be Smith with an E. Wouldn't it be Smith? No,
Smythe.
Smith. Oh, hello.
Yeah. I imagine I like the idea that this was an unscripted moment and they just told him to go get the camera. It was still filming. But in story, it's another example of her, being sensitive to the things unseen by the rest of the world.
Is it because she's related by blood to Laura?
And Sarah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's clever, but not quite clever enough. That's the problem. She could be really dangerous if she just had a little bit more experience, a little bit more wisdom. Ice bucket girl.
So, what film credits you have? I'm Ice Bucket Girl.
Yeah, in Twin Peaks. I don't remember that role.
Oh yeah, it was a great role.
Yeah.
Out of all the girls auditioned, I'm the one who got it.
It does make me wonder why the heck she's talking in riddles, and I understand Cooper getting annoyed with her. Don't really have time for games, Audrey. And if you're gonna be, being cryptic like that and apparently playing schoolgirl games, you're probably not in any serious danger, right? That's why he would say, I want you to get home right now. But now she kind of shoots herself in the foot because she's like, I'll be home right away. And it's like, no, you won't. It's not like she has a choice in the matter. But
So we don't actually see Harold Smith in this episode.
I'll just like his nose and maybe, his eyes sort of.
We don't even hear him on the
shadow.
phone yet.
No, you didn't even hear him on the phone.
By the way, it's interesting knowing we know now about Hank being involved with Cooper's shooting, how he just said, oh, fancy seeing you again now that we,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's just...
And it does cause you to start wondering about this history. And again, I've said this, we get so many references to the previous generation of Twin Peaks. All of their backstories, right? Hank and Norma and Ed and Nadine and the Bookhouse Boys, Truman, all of them, they went to school together and all of that history. they really could make a whole, maybe not a whole series out of it, but a season prequel, like a mini series type of thing.
Maybe.
And the casting of it could be done so brilliantly, because you get a bunch of people that, you know, don't have a lot of history in entertainment. You know, they're new fresh faces, right? And you're just, I'm looking for, and you just, what are the things that are key about the Nadine character, about Big Ed? Well, Big Ed, you need someone to be tall, but he's definitely got to have that Southern drawl, that slight one, not like a real heavy one, right? Deep voice. You know, yeah, I mean, when a fan would watch it and go, yeah, I could totally see that being, you know, a young version of so and so, you know. Yeah, just a thought. Just a thought. But anyway, just a pipe dream on my part, I think.
Yeah, I doubt it's
That
going to
comes in
happen.
later for Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, in fact, it is. You're absolutely right. I may have to start getting that right. But it is. So I feel like well-written characters draw you in, and you should be able to relate to most of the characters in some way, and all the more for you know, the protagonist, right? You want to associate as much as possible with Dale Cooper, right? And so if they want you to be concerned about Audrey, then Cooper's got to be concerned about Audrey. And I think that was done just brilliantly, because they've made Audrey the kind of character that the fans may have been very skeptical about, but really kind of care about, kind of understand. I think there's a lot of underlying, you know, hurt and jealousy that she has over Laura's relationship with her father. And so I think as you start to realize that, you start to kind of sympathize with why she was so kind of bitchy towards Laura, you know.
Yeah, and then you find out the relationship with Laura and her dad are a little bit more
And
creepy.
Audrey wasn't aware of that. That's a whole different.
She is now.
But I also like the fact that even though she had this jealousy, and she on many levels didn't like Laura and was jealous of her, she also had a certain fondness for Laura because Laura was good to her brother. You know, there's a lot of levels here. So it's very difficult to be all one way or the other with a lot of these characters. In fact, you get some of, you know, as you, like I said, we have Hank in this episode. He's kind of being a dick because he's a dick and he's got to be a dick, right? He's obviously a criminal. He's obviously an assassin. And yet, you know, at one point he was friends with Harry and he was a Bookhouse Boy. So that means he was one of the good guys, right? On a you know, not quite so grandiose level, he was a Jedi that fell to the dark side, right?
Yeah.
So the story's a little bit more complicated there than just, oh, he's a bad guy, right? And then when you see him interacting with Ed and you see him interacting with Norma, there's a creepy edge, but there's also you could almost very easily believe, you know, he wants to make peace and be a nice guy. And yeah, he's putting on an act, but that act is coming from somewhere. He's drawing on something that he's buried deep down, but might be very genuine. You know, he wants to be a good guy, you know, and that makes it more tragic.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah,
just my take on it.
The owls are not what they seem.
And then they show a superimposed image of an owl over Bob's face. And in a later episode, you effectively see Bob turn into an owl. It's almost like he's some kind of a werebeast or something.
Well, he needs something to turn into.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Dracula would turn into a bat, right?
Right. And he could also hypnotize people to make them do his bidding. So, yeah, I hadn't really thought about it much before tonight, but there are a lot of parallels between Bob and Dracula, preying on the innocent.
Yep.
Corrupting.
Well, that's the thing. It's like a modern monster, basically.
Yeah. With very universal tropes, right?
Yeah,
these kind of archetypical symbolisms, I think that's intentional. And then when you have so much discussion of dreams, the druggie, is this just some kind of a weird dream? And after we've seen this entire series all the way through, including season 3, you go, yes, you live inside a dream. We've already established that. We may not fully understand what it means, but yes. So you have to apply dream logic to a lot of these things. And dreams are made up of symbols, usually universal symbols. But once again, I'm kind of monopolizing the conversation. I don't mean it to be all Troy all the time when it comes to Twin Peaks.
Passionate about
I am very passionate.
Well, you're not talking about the biggest mystery in this episode is how could Lucy be pregnant when Andy is quote unquote sterile, right?
This is the no we know now walkthrough of Twin Peaks. We know very well that she was dicked by Tremaine.
He's a very charming man that likes the finer things in life.
Yes, I think he made a better television actor than whatever it was he was in Twin Peaks.
I just don't like the man.
Oh, you're not supposed to. He's supposed to be very smarmy.
He's very schwarmy.
Yeah.
That kind of like, you can almost feel the snake oil coming off of him.
I liked him on that other show we watched.
Yeah, I did too. What was it, On the Air or whatever?
Yes, yeah. I love that show. I don't.
That
care.
was there was still an element of dislike about him, but I liked him a little bit more in that.
Well, one thing I'll say about when he was On the Air, when Mr. Peanut was having the bad day, even he went to go cheer Mr. Peanut up instead of trying to impress that stuck-up actress that he was trying to impress her. Although he actually did the right thing there. So yeah.
You were starting to see the character change with him.
Maybe
and you kind of get that a little bit here, where you kind of get the idea that he's maybe starting to think of someone other than himself. But
is it after the pine weasel attacks him?
After that, yeah.
It does make you wonder. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember that we saw Tremaine in season 3. So I'm kind of wondering what ended up happening to him. But
we didn't, and that's what I was just about to say. It makes you wonder if there had been a season 3 back in the day, an immediate season 3, where that story would have gone. Because I really feel like there should have been a whole story there with Tremaine and Little Nicky.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking. What was it? Enigma was talking about the little demon kid. Yeah, no, that wasn't the Chalfont kid. It was Little Nicky. I really do believe there was meant to be a strong implication that there was a little devil element.
There was definitely something going on with that kid.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and we never got resolution on that. So
we didn't. So
what I liked about that was you have all the stuff with the stuff with Bob and Wyndham Earl and everything else, and then you have that little story with that evil kid.
Yeah.
Uh,
But, on the more less serious, more ephemeral kind of side to that, what we do see in season 3, which is, of course, almost 30 years later, we've seen a long progression of just that, as Harry put it, that evil in the woods seeping out of Twin Peaks into the rest of the world. And I think that storylines like that with Tremaine and Nikki and, Wyndham Earl, even to the extent that they're not directly related, there are parallels there. As if there is this evil that is corrupting the world around Twin Peaks. And you get a whole lot more of that in the secret history of Twin Peaks.
So you're saying it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where they live
with
over
a hell mouth. Yes, exactly right.
It's like, I live where?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I never thought about that before, Mark. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Now, see, that's the song that the 3 kids should have been singing.
The 3 kids.
Life could be a dream. There's that too. Yeah. Hadn't thought about that.
I don't know, man. Things were getting a little intense there in that singing.
Yeah, it was. Because Donna was clearly getting jealous. Maddie was getting a little hey there, boy, But then of course there's the whole she has a Bob freak out, which Donna could very easily interpret as, let me get some attention from James.
Yeah.
But okay, so let me throw this out. I don't feel very strongly about this, but I'd love to hear your opinion. I just described how I was reading the girls. What do you think about James, though, in that situation?
James is probably oblivious to Maddie, right? That's what I'm thinking. Because guys, I don't know. He strikes me as someone who would be oblivious to that sort of thing. That, I'm with Donna.
Yeah. So my personal take is that James is a bit naive. He is a little bit he tries to be a good guy, right? So just about any guy in his situation he's kind of falling for Donna, right? But he's still got the lingering feelings over Laura, and then Laura's identical cousin comes in and he's transferred some of that feeling to her.
Actually, I think he's looking at her more like, yeah, you look like Laura, but I'm not feeling it. Possibly. There's a couple ways it could go. It could be that. It could be, if he is having any feelings in that regard, he feels guilty about it. The other possibility is he might be reevaluating his feelings about Laura from the beginning, right? Because as he's part of this whole investigation thing and so on and so forth, finding out more and more about Laura, and he already knew some of the things about Laura. It's like, yeah, Laura had some serious problems and I feel really bad for her. And then of course he hears the thing about he is so dumb, and he's like, okay, now I know she was completely, just using me. She didn't really care about me. So maybe that kind of kills the infatuation he had with Laura, right? So then maybe, yeah, sure, Maddie comes along, looks like Laura, but I'm kind of over Laura. Maybe, you know.
Do you know what I thought was funny about that? That's like the meanest thing. Like that whole thing Laura was saying. It's like, I think first she says, "Oh, he's sweet," but I'm so sick of sweet. And then she says, "And he's so dumb." And it's like that's like the worst thing.
Well, and this is another. See, I'm always talking about how you have to. Communication is you getting something across to the specific person you're talking to. And if you're overheard by someone else for whom that message wasn't intended, it could be received in a way you don't intend. What I mean by that is Laura was speaking specifically to Jacoby in those tapes.
Yes.
She had probably talked about James before. And we know at least as much as Jacoby did, probably more, not only from having seen all 3 seasons of the show, but from having read her secret diary and, you know, Fire Walk with Me and so forth. So we know the conflict that Laura had, which is very similar to what Leland probably had in his early days, trying to separate himself from Bob, the good from the bad, you know, the I want to have my own life versus the corruption trying to take him over. Laura knows that the hedonism and so forth is really just the temptations of Bob trying to take her over. And she even says specifically, I want to be good. And she's finding that more and more impossible, right? And then when it comes to Bobby and to James, she knows she's using them both to the detriment of both of them. She knows that she is acting as a succubus in the grand scheme of hell, so to speak. And she feels a great deal of guilt about that. She feels more guilt about James because James really is one of the good ones. He really is pure-hearted. Bobby is further down the dark side path. So a little bit easier to manipulate, but maybe not as tragic from her point of view. See? Now, on the flip side of that, when it comes to redemption arcs, that means Bobby has a lot farther to go, which is why I think the redemption arc we see by the end of season 3 is so grand. You know, James was always cool, right? He didn't have that big of an arc.
Right.
But he was always cool, you know, which is in and of itself pretty good, you know. So, but anyway, that's what, getting back to the Jacoby tape, that's Laura speaking to her audience, which is Jacoby, who already knew that she was manipulating and using James, that to his detriment, that she was a troubled soul. And so when she said things like, you know, I'm so sick of sweet and he's so dumb, she's saying that in a way that Jacoby understands, but it's not what it means on the surface the way James hears it. When she says he's dumb, what she really means is he's naive, right?
Right.
Which is absolutely fair. And if she had used those words because she was talking to James, he'd have been like, yeah, you're right. Right? Those aren't the words she uses, and he takes it completely a different way than we know she meant.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, communication is a two-way street, and you have to know your audience. And just understand that just because you mean something doesn't mean that's what your audience is getting. And if your audience gets something different than what you're saying, that's your fault because you didn't understand your audience well enough to communicate to them. I mean that for everyone in all areas of life.
All right, well, this is a little off topic, but this is
Okay.
something I've just been made aware of. I know we have a bunch of X-Files fans here, either on the panel or in the chat. We have some casting news as far as the upcoming reboot series is concerned. Amy Madigan and Steve Buscemi have been added to the cast.
What?
I have no idea who Amy Madigan is.
Name rings a bell.
Okay, Amy Madigan's been around for a good, probably 40 plus years.
She looks.
She's married. She's married to Ed Harris. She was in Streets of Fire. She just won an Oscar for playing the witch in Weapons.
Wait a minute, she was in what do you call it? Roadhouse, right?
No, she wasn't in Roadhouse.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. Okay, never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, she was in Field of Dreams. Okay, I recognize her now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
They're probably going to be guest stars, I think. Which is fine. They would use actors like that on. They used to have Peter. One episode had Peter Boyle on, another had Tony Shalhoub. They would have different actors on the X-Files. I'm still wondering who they're going to cast in the lead man, at least.
I know he's an Indian fella, but
you don't have there isn't going to be a return of Mulder and Scully.
They haven't ruled it out. See, we don't know anything about this show. Both actors said they're open to coming back. To be fair, where they left it, it's complicated. I mean, I don't see them being the mains at this point, but because frankly, it was kind of silly that they were the mains on the last show, but I still went with it because it's the X-Files. Yeah. But for starters, Mulder got kicked out of the FBI at the end of the first series, and then they kind of brought him back. But yeah,
here's the problem. I don't think that these rights holders on these properties know what the hell they're doing and how to shepherd what it is that they have. There are two things that must happen simultaneously, and you must balance them. Yes, you do need to hand it off to another generation if you want it to continue indefinitely. You cannot remain, telling the same stories about the same people over and over and over again. However, you have to do that in a gradual and natural way without, completely crapping all over that previous generation. So, I keep going back to the example of Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was a great example of a smooth handoff, where what's left of the old team is still around, still beloved, still involved, but now we're shifting the focus to the next generation without, any, crap all over the past. And you continue to love it and you move on from there and you're perfectly okay with it. The opposite example being Star Wars, that's a terrible example. And so you worry about a situation like this, with the X-Files. So,
well, we still don't even know if it's a sequel series or a full-on reboot. Or maybe a series set in the same universe with new agents taking over the files.
Really, you don't even know that much.
We don't know anything about it. Well, we don't know anything about it because they've been working on this thing for a while. We know casting. A lot of it's under wraps, so it could be great. It could be a disaster. I just don't know yet. But I really think a lot is going to depend on their leads, because I'm going to be blunt. That show was carried by Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny. And if you know comparable leads, they tried replacing them later on in the first season. And to be fair, I like the actors they have, but it just wasn't the same. And, I liked Annabeth Gish and what's his name? The guy that played the Liquid Terminator in Terminator.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, he was good too, but and I like them, but
you need this is why I say you need a soft handoff. You need a natural progression from one to the other. Look, you spend a season getting to know a character, getting to know their backstory, and then suddenly they're gone and they're replaced with someone else. That's way too jarring.
Well, it's well, like I said, it's Hulu, it's Fox, I guess technically Disney. We'll see. It's theirs to throw away or to revive. That's where it is now.
I would honestly draw a comparison to Doctor Who. They did a great. They eventually found a great. What do you call it? Middle ground. When they would get rid of a companion,
Right.
You were still following the same Doctor. When the Doctor would regenerate, you still had the companion there to lend the verisimilitude, reintroduce the audience to the Doctor. Then when another companion comes in, it's not. There's a natural progression. Anyway,
No,
we're getting probably way off topic.
Well, plus
we
I
are
don't know about
talking
the time.
storytelling.
Yeah,
I need to. In fact, I need to go ahead and bounce. Are you guys good to wrap this up over here?
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
Y'all have a great night, and we will see you over on Sherlock Holmes.
Over on Sherlock Holmes, we're going to be going over there for the second half of the Hound of the Baskervilles. So we'll see you in about 3 or 4 minutes or so.
See you later.
Right.
Good night.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Anyone who is watching on my channel, you will be automatically redirected over to Troy's channel for that broadcast. And of course, those of you who are with us here on Cosme, just simply stay there, and the next show will appear. The second half of the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So, Boomer, what do you have coming up?
Like I said, I'll be on Friday night last call with Troy Pacelli, and we will be talking about Saturday morning cartoons. So that'll be neat. And then you can also join me for Geeky Geezers on Sunday as well. And actually, next Monday, I think I'm going to be on his Monday Night at the Movies because it's my annual birthday week. During my birthday week, I always sort of make him do a poll of a movie I want to watch. So that's what
you definitely had some interesting ones in there, I thought. So,
they're all made for TV horror movies from 1978. Horrors of 1978, I call it. So I hope I pronounced that correctly because that could sound like something else. But anyway, and I'll say this for the X-Files. I'm just going to have one line I'm going to say about the reboot. If you cast David Dastmalchian in your lead, I will tune in. That would be the thing where I would watch it on questions unasked, but we'll see if they do that. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah. All righty. And as for me, I will be joining Outlaw Bill this Thursday at 4:30 p.m. I believe 4:30. It's either 4:30 or 5:30. Anyway, I'm going to be joining Outlaw Bill Thursday afternoon for Action Theater as we continue our salute to the troops with Courage Under Fire with Meg Ryan and Denzel Washington.
Cool.
Later on that night will be my program Coming Attractions, so you get to find out what I'm going to be up to next week, up to and including my appearance this Friday on Films with Friends with Big Al. And this week's movie is going to be The Way, Way Out with Jerry Lewis, the movie we had to postpone from last month. But going to come back, we're going to air that film. I also do want to remind everybody of on Troy's channel, Liquid Lunch, every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. And I also want to remind everyone that Thursday Things over on Netter's channel is going to be starting an hour earlier because of she has a guest, the director, Robert James, and we're going to be rewatching his film, 15 Days. So tune in for that. All right. Boomer, any last words before we wrap up?
No, this was fun, and tune in next week, and we'll see if there's more cream corn. Hopefully not.
Indeed. And Flappy is watching.
Flappy's always watching.
All right. All right. And as I always say at the end of every broadcast from HQ, the corners of Sparkwood and 21, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.